Hey, what's up, guys? We are live, I do believe. It's the Indie Games Podcast. We are back. It feels like a while, as it does every time. We only do these things occasionally, as you know, but it's awesome always when we get back to it on that monthly schedule. And we obviously took a week off last week because we missed our man Judsy baby recovering, but now he's back in action. He is pumped and ready, like we all are. But it's awesome to be back to chat some indie games with you. It's awesome to see so many people in as well so early on. Thank you so much, everybody who has come out. You're all legends. Facts, that is for sure. But we're going to get into some intros straight off the bat, as it's been a while since I've talked to my two brothers in person, over the mic even. I just want to say a big hi to my man Judzilla. How are you doing, my friend? Are you feeling better? Are you ready for some action today?
Good evening, Indy. Good evening, everybody. Yes, I am definitely feeling better. It wasn't any crazy virus. Well, technically it was, but it wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't COVID. So anyway, yeah, really looking forward to it. Like you say, it's been a while since we've done this over the old voice chat and interacted with the chat here and all the cool people. There's a lot going on in the indie world, so I'm really looking forward to chatting this stuff tonight with you guys.
Awesome, buddy. Yeah, it is awesome to see you back and fighting fit. I'm glad to hear it wasn't anything too bad. But yeah, there's been so much going on. It seems like it's like a struggle to keep up with all the news. But we've brought together some cool topics, I think, today, just to highlight the indie games, as that's the focus, of course. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, buddy. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And of course, we have the third member of this podcast, another legend, someone who I always enjoy chatting the games with, chatting the indie games, a true gamer of the world, someone like who comes with the the true gamer tag, in my opinion, but a great friend as well. Someone I love just to chat all things. But it's Luke Steele. He's back on the show today. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, I am a true gamer. TM. That's what I am.
That's it. Trademark.
Trademark. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, great to be here, and it's been a little while, so it'd be nice to chat games. And there's been a lot of stuff happening, especially in the indie world, and I think we're kind of ramping up now to a lot of kind of indie releases coming up in the next sort of 6 months or so. So
definitely.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Exciting times indeed for that. Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, there's so many games on the horizon. Well alluded to. Yeah. We've got a few coming quite soon, which we'll dive into a bit later on. One of them in particular, Trek to Yomi. No spoilers here, but in the title. But yeah, looking forward to that one. But yeah, awesome to have you back on, buddy. Always a pleasure doing it with both of you guys. I love that. I love doing this show with you guys. So thank you again for being part of it. And in the chat, we have some great names. I am seeing Trinity in the chat for the first time, I do believe. How great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for coming by. Yeah, a pleasure to see you in. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to shout out a few of you legends who are in there. We've got Fun Speculation just popping in. Mav in the house. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. We've got Meisuko as well, the MVP of the channel. Always supporting. Thank you so much, buddy. We've got Stubbs Gaming, always a great support as well. Great to see you too, my friend. And who else do we have in? We have Back from the Dead in the house. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you very much for coming by. We've got Flame as well, a good friend of mine. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. We have Ash Reviews Games. Highly recommend checking out his channel. Does some great reviews over there on his channel. Been enjoying some nice chats with him recently. Thank you very much for being here. And Defloyd in the house as well. Thank you so much, everybody. We've got also Smokeback Official. Always a pleasure seeing you, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. And Dragon Wolf just drops in. Awesome to see all you guys. So such great names in there. And you definitely bring this show to life. So thank you very much all for being here. But we are going to tuck on into some indie goodness, as we love to do on the channel. I think we're going to dive maybe straight into a topic to get this one rolling, because we've got a few to pop into there. But yeah, we're going to dive straight on in, I think. So, I mean, we are catching up a little bit with this first one, as we don't do the show on the weekly basis here, as you guys know, but we do the monthly sort of schedule. So we're kind of catching up a little bit from the Idea Xbox showcase, which you probably maybe have checked out, guys, or you may have missed potentially because you were put off by the last time being such a long one. But they did do another showcase recently. And there was some cool announcements and cool games shown off in that one. So we're going to catch up with a bit of that, because obviously that is our realm to cover that and catch up on the indies that were covered in that. You may have missed it, guys, so it might be a good one just to refresh or recap on that. But yeah, we're going to dive straight into that topic. I mean, straight away now. We have got a handy little condensed down video on the screen as well, just to jar the memory in case you did either miss it or like you saw it and you can't remember. But yeah, there were some great announcements. I mean, for one, there was obviously the Tunic dropping into Game Pass announcement, which was a pretty damn big one. A lot of people were wondering, is this game coming to Game Pass? Is it not? A lot of people thinking it weren't going to be coming to Game Pass because they wanted to keep that back. They definitely held that as a good secret, and then it snuck out a little bit before the showcase and ended up being a Game Pass game, which was awesome because so many people got to check out the awesome Tunic. But yeah, so a ton of games in there, like, obviously we're seeing them on the screen now in the recap version, which is a condensed down 2 minute of the whole show. But yeah, there was some great stuff for me. I'm going to pass it over though, as I could ramble on and talk about my takes, but I thought I'd pass this one straight to Judzilla and see if he had any thoughts about the show. I mean, last time it was a very long show. It went to 3.5 hours. I think we were doing a reaction show of it, so we have a good experience of it being such a long one. This time they did condense it down. I don't know if you checked it out, but it felt like they definitely did have a conscious thought of, we need to make it a bit more concise. But did you check out any of it, my friend, or did you see any of the fruits of what came out of it?
Yeah, so you're correct. Last time we did cover this, and it was 3.5 hours of an experience, is the best way to put it.
Yes.
It was painful, being brutally honest. There was some good stuff there, don't get me wrong, but it was a painful experience to sit through.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't watch it live this year because I thought I can't do it. 3.5 hours. You know
fair
what I mean?
enough.
I'm aging. I'm getting old. I can't be doing that. So I left it and I
Yeah.
watched the recap. So similar to what you got going on here. Couple of ones stuck out for me on this. Number one is a game that is also coming to Game Pass very soon, if it's not already dropped. Chinatown Detective Agency.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good stuff. That's I think it's literally just dropped, actually, I think, that one.
Yeah, exactly. So that's fantastic. Cannot wait for that. Obviously, we've spoken a little bit about Trek to Yomi, and I know you guys are going to speak on that a little bit more. So I won't say too much on that. Obviously, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we'll
pre-installed
save the
Series
juicy
X.
Trek to Yomi for a bit later. We're going to dive deep on into that one, guys. So
Yeah. And the other one was Void Train. That looks pretty freaky.
freaky indeed. Freaky
so-
indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
quite
quite
surreal.
intrigued with that.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that shown off a couple of times now on these showcases. But yeah, what did you think about the Tunic coming to Game Pass thing? Did you think that was always on the cards, or were you thinking it might be one that's actually held back a bit like Death's Store?
I thought it was going to be coming, to be honest with you. It was
Yeah.
a bit strange the way it dropped, and I think maybe they're learning a little bit about dropping things and timing into Game Pass. But with the demo that launched on Xbox, it kind of felt like, well, this is going to be coming to Game Pass. So when it sort of stealth dropped, I was very pleased, because this game, again, I know you're going to speak about it. You streamed it. It's very impressive, and it's extremely hard as well. Don't get
Yep.
carried away with the cute fox. This game will kick your ass. Honestly, it's pretty damn.
Love
tricky.
a fox that kicks your ass. That's
I
good
tell you,
stuff.
the little buggers
Yeah.
they get everywhere.
The little buggers. Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah, no, it is definitely a challenge, that game. But I think that's a pretty cool element of it. I mean, yeah, we've got that to catch up on as well, a bit of Tunic talk. But yeah, we can tuck into that in a bit maybe before we move off for this one. But yeah, like obviously there was shredders in the showcase. Don't know if you've dived into any shredders, have you at all yet? Or
I have, yes.
Nice.
This is one of my anticipated games from the shows that we did.
yeah,
This came out roughly the same time as Tunic, didn't it?
it did indeed. Yeah.
I struggle with shredders. I'm not going to lie. I struggle to control it. And
Fair enough.
I used to love snowboarding games like SSX and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling to control this. I don't know why. So it's one I've got to go back to. But
Yeah,
it looks awesome.
I'm the same. I did try it out. I thought it looked really cool, and I thought it had a lot going for it. But I thought the controls weren't always as responsive as I would like, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I didn't feel like it was reacting to what I was doing, and then I'd do the same thing. Like it would work one time, and then I'll do the same thing, and it wouldn't work the next time. If that makes sense. Don't know if you had
Sounds
that
like
issue.
What I was doing, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite frustrating when it's a game like that, really. But I think it's got a lot going for it. I think they will continue to tweak it. I think it should have been released maybe in early access, and then they could have maybe carried on tweaking. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame because that game I had a lot of hype for it, definitely. But yeah, we can swing back around to my man Judzilla. Let's swing this one over to Luke for now and see if he has any takes on the Idea Xbox showcase. I know he had some strong opinions on the last time being a long show, and maybe that impacted his decision to whether he watched this one. But yeah, did you get any of the sort of like recaps or anything, Luke, or did you check out the show at all?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw that it was coming up, but there was just no way that I was going to watch another one of those shows because it's time that I just wouldn't get back. So I was just like, I'll wait until after and I'll see if there's anything that piques my interest. And funnily enough, it seemed like a pretty good show. I thought they had some cool stuff there, at least from the highlights. I don't know how the show itself was in terms of flow, but things that stuck out to me, there's Immortality, which is Sam Barlow's new game. So I've only actually played his first game, which was Her Story. I haven't played Telling Lies, although I think that's on Game Pass now.
I think it is actually, recently, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, and Her Story I really loved. I thought it was a really cool game. And for people who don't know, his games are essentially FMV games.
Yeah.
That where there is a central mystery, and it's up to you to solve it. And you're usually sitting at least in her story, the conceit was you were someone sitting at a terminal, like a PC, looking through many different files and video clips, etc. And you could literally, you were able just to piece a story together using your own brain, which was really cool.
Definitely.
And
you can piece it in.
Is probably similar.
So I was going to say you can piece it in any kind of order as well. Is that right? Or
that's right. Yeah. So you could actually figure it out very quickly, or you could figure it out, after a number of hours, and you kind of have those eureka moments where you work out what's kind of going on. So they're really cool, and I'm looking forward to this one, which kind of looks almost like a step up in budget for his games. It looks like they've kind of ramped it up, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks like really cinematic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it seems like they've kind of had some different filming techniques as well, rather than just kind of interview style video recording. So that's really cool.
Definitely.
So yeah, super cool. Like the look of that, and would recommend that people go and play Her Story or Telling Lies.
Definitely.
To get a feel for what this one would be like. So that's cool. The other one was I was just trying to think now. So it's the one I told you about, Indy. It's There Is No Light.
There Is No Light. Was that actually featured on this? I didn't realise that was featured on this actual show.
I think there was a brief trailer of it. I remember it came up in the highlights as well.
Nice.
So that's really cool. Now I must admit, I don't know the developer who's doing this, but it stuck out pretty rapidly as something that I'd be interested in.
Souls,
kind of a Souls-esque action adventure, kind of top-down 2D, quite violent. I know you don't like that, Indy.
I know. No, I love that. I love violent, but I don't like vulgarity, I'm afraid. I don't like babies being cut open or whatever, and in like sacrifices.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous, basically.
Basically, you don't like blasphemous.
That is it, really. Yeah, to be fair.
This podcast has escalated quickly,
and we just got demonetized by saying that as well, probably.
So this is right my alley. It was kind of very dark, post-apocalyptic fantasy almost setting. It was really different. It was very much the type of thing you would see in a Souls game, basically, but in pixel art 2D. And the combat was in fact, the combat actually reminded me of Hyperlight Drifter, of all things.
Nice.
Very similar sort of cadence to it, lots of dashes and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Actually, just quickly while you've mentioned that, I wasn't going to have it as a topic today, but I'm sure that you've probably noticed the new game, the sequel to Hyperlight Drifter has been announced.
Yes, yes, I heard.
Little
is
nugget.
It Hyperlight Breaker, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What do you think about that? It looks like their other game, doesn't it? A bit. How have they managed to put out two games at the same time? I do not know. Basically,
I know, So it looked really cool. It seems like they've just basically translated what Hyperlight Drifter looked like in 2D, but to 3D.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it does look like Solar Ash,
That's it,
which was their other game.
Thank you for having me, because I totally dropped the name of Solar Ash for a second there.
No, it's okay. So that was cool. The only thing, and this will come as no surprise to anyone, that I didn't like, well, that I might not like potentially, is that it's co-op. So I think you can play it single player as well.
Yep.
But there is a co-op feature. Now, I'm nothing against the co-op feature, but I just don't want them to veer down into kind of, multiplayer focused games, because I think that would probably be a bit crap. But I don't think it is. I think it's got co-op in the world.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's like there's different biomes, and all sorts of. I think it's still a bit roguelite-y, but
nice.
Action adventure-esque, fully 3D like Solar Ash, and it's got some of those kind of traversal mechanics. It looks really cool. It looks really, really cool.
Definitely.
So yeah, slightly off topic, but
a little bit worth mentioning. Got to have the word on that.
Yeah, because it is one of the bigger announcements I think that's come out in the last couple of months indie wise. So
pretty huge, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that comes out next year, but they've not given a firm date on it. So,
Cool.
Those were the two that kind of stuck out to me from the showcase.
From this,
Obviously, there was other stuff. Tunic, obviously, was there, but we've known about Tunic for forever. So
we have.
Certainly the highlights look cool. I don't know about the show. I don't know if they've changed that, but the content itself was good.
Oh, good stuff. That's fantastic takes. I can definitely say that they did make it more concise from because I checked it out. I didn't check out in full. I checked out kind of like a chunk of it, if you see what I mean. And it was definitely flowing better. It's obviously the same format, but it's the interviews. They were so much more concise. They were like wrapping people up really quickly, like as in a good way. You know what I mean? They weren't just they were getting the developers on and still talking, but they were literally giving them like a couple of minutes tops, basically, just as a nice little taste of what the developers like, so you can get to know them and their sort of like motivations, and then basically moving on. I could tell that they felt a bit bad for leaving the developers so quickly, but at the same time it was much better. They were still doing them live, by the way, but yeah, the same sort of format but just tightened up, I think, and that definitely improved it a lot for me. And I don't know if anyone else in the chat has any takes on that. Definitely let us know if you checked out the Idea Xbox showcase at the end of March. And what was your thoughts on it, guys? What was your highlights? Did you have any great games that came out of it for you? For me, I'm going to mention a game which I think Meisuko is quite keen on as well. And shout out to GoForce Gaming, who likes his roguelikes. He does roguelikes on his channel. Definitely check him out. But yeah, also what I was going to mention basically was the game called Curse to Golf, which actually looks super cool in my opinion. For some people, it might be like, golf game, no thank you. And it's just popped onto the screen, which is handy. But yeah, this is kind of like a roguelike golf game basically, and I've watched the developer play through the demo of this game and explain things as he goes, and I think it looks super cool, and I think the developer is absolutely awesome as well. He's got so much energy, and Tunai Labs, I think they're called, but they just bring a great energy into all of their sort of interviews that they talk and everything like that about the game, and it's a passion that they have. But yeah, I think the roguelike element is really cool because when they sort of when you play through the game, you got these like sort of like buffs and stuff like that, like you'd have in a roguelike game. You pick up sort of power-ups along the way on the run, and it is very much a roguelike game, but you're playing golf, and you can like get extra shots along the way. You can choose which you're going to pick up. You can take an extra couple of shots, or you can take basically a power-up which lets you get through a different route or something, maybe a dynamite. There's some random stuff going on. I think it's very unique, and it's very cool actually. I'm definitely up for a bit of Curse to Golf. I actually think there's a demo available of it right now on Steam as well, if you did want to check out Curse to Golf, which I'm actually going to check out myself. But of course Tunic was a great one being shown up, but we knew about that for a long time anyway. We may just, as our tail end on this topic, we may just talk a little bit more about Tunic, maybe to finish it off. But obviously, Trek to Yomi being in there, fantastic looking game. Cannot wait for that one. We've mentioned that a few times on the channel. We were watching the Devolver showcase when they showed that off, and it looked so, striking with its cinematic feel. But we were going to get into that one as well in a minute. Sorry for all the teasers, guys. But actually, I was going to, what we'll do, I think, is I will swing it back to Judzilla, just see if there's anything else he wants to add, and then maybe we'll have a little chat about Tunic on this one, and then we'll move over to the next topic. Anything else you want to add, my friend Juds?
Not a massive amount. I think I've got a question for Meisuko in the chat though, because he's put a ram in a ram emoji.
A ram emoji. The
I thought it was a sheep. It's actually a ram.
I bet it's for GoForce.
I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a
where is
bad
it?
thing.
Oh yeah, there it is.
The Mafia, they leave you a horse's head. And I think that's the Finnish version of the Mafia.
So it's death card. Yeah.
A ram in the chat, so.
Let's see. Indy agrees. Show had so much better flow. Also, Curse to Golf, and then he's put. I think he's put that goat for GoForce. Maybe I don't know, because he's on the roguelikes. I don't know. Maybe that's probably because I mentioned old GoForce on me.
There's a separate emoji for Go. I'd expect Meisuko.
Oh, is there? Your emoji's better than me.
I had to look it up while you were talking. I was typing in all the different emojis. I'm like,
doing the research on the emojis. I love it. That's great. Excellent. Oh, nice. Yeah. Is there any other games that stood out to you, buddy?
Yeah. Sorry for taking us off track.
No, it's good. I like it.
Podcast.
No.
Yeah, there was obviously Curse to Golf. Actually, I mean, I'm no golfer. To be honest with you, but that I agree with you. It looks good. The demo that the developer did, that if you haven't seen it, chat, go and watch that. It's freaking hilarious. it's really cool, and there's some really really cool mechanics in that game as well.
Definitely.
The other one that is a bit like, what's the FMV? You've talked about Immortality.
Immortality, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the one that Luke was mentioning about, that looks super cool. I think it looks.
Sorry, Luke. I was looking at random animal emojis. Yeah. Talking about that.
But yeah, that game is just to add on to that. The developer interview with Sam Barlow was super interesting. On the actual showcase as well, they spoke to the developer, obviously, and he was really cool. Actually, he was really, obviously you can imagine he's quite a creative type, making games like he does in his own way. But a very interesting interview, I thought that was. So I guess it does depend on the developer speaking, doesn't it? How good that the takeaway is on the actual kind of like interview segments, but I thought they did well of keeping them the good length. But anyway, carry on, my friend.
No, you're all good. Yeah, it definitely, the developer, the way they put things across, it does make such a massive difference. We all remember the Konami press conference in 2006 or whenever it was with that guy, or maybe you don't remember.
I do remember that. It's classic.
Konami dude.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the other one I think that really caught my eye was Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Okay, nice. Flintlock, which one was that? Is that a pixel art one?
I don't think. No, it's not pixel art. It's what's the best way to describe it? It's kind of, it's not photorealistic, but it's sort of realistic characters, I guess, and environments.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I know that one.
It's an RPG. The studio that did it did Ashen in 2018.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's when that came out.
Oh, is it the similar art style to that?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of. It looks like they've had a bit of a budget increase, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay, nice.
When I saw the trailer.
Cool. Third-person action game by the Ashen devs, says Flame. Yeah, basically what you said there, yeah. But yeah, cool. I'll have to look into that one. I'm sure I've heard of that. Oh, it's just on the screen right now, Flintlock, is it?
There's another game that's got foxes in it, so your companion is a fox. Yeah, there we go.
It was just past a minute ago, I think. Yeah, I was looking at it thinking, that's not. I think I was looking at the wrong game for a minute. I was like, that's a top-down, like, quite cutesy game. I was thinking, that's not it. But yeah, it was. I think we skipped past it quite quickly. But yeah, definitely sounds interesting. But yeah, what do you reckon? We have a little quick chat about Tunic, guys, because it was featured in this showcase, and it's a way of just catching up on things. Because I've been playing Tunic. I know a lot of us have. Let us know again what your highlights were of the showcase, any games that stood out to you in the chat. Shout out to Pixel Slapper who's joined us, Scott from Green Pass Gaming, great to see you, my friend, and anyone else who has popped in. You're all legends, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, as I say, let us know any games that stood out to you from the showcase and what you think of Tunic. If you've been playing it, guys, definitely interested to know that. I'm gonna send this one over to my man Jodzilla firstly, and because I know you've been playing some Tunic, my friend. You've had maybe mixed feelings about it. I think you've been enjoying it, but I think you're finding it a bit on the tough side, which is only natural. It's supposed to be, I believe. But what do you reckon about Tunic, my friend?
Oh, it's fantastic. There's so much good stuff about it. Obviously, I love the art style, the sort of isometric-y type view. The fox is cool. I've played about 7 hours so far.
Nice.
So it's not a game I'm not going to be playing. The difficulty ramps up real quick. I mean, once you've got your sword, you think, okay, I've got a little bit of power. You get your shield and all this stuff, but then you have to work out. It's all about the discovery, isn't it? And when you actually work something, because I've looked nothing up on this, so when I actually worked out, you can. I don't know. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's pads you can walk across. That are and you work out what they do. And it's like, oh wow, I did that on my own, And
so
then
the gold ones.
I played about 6 hours of this game without upgrading any of.
Oh really?
Any of my equipment.
Oh my god, that's amazing. No wonder you would find it hard.
Yeah, it's just something I'm famous for. I played the entire first Mass Effect, and I didn't realize. Oh, I guess it's embarrassing. Welcome to the self-confession. I didn't realize you could upgrade your guns. When I got to the final enemy, I forgot his name, Sargon or something. Sarko, what's that? I can't remember his name. Anyway, I got to him, and I was saying to my brother, how are you killing this guy? It's impossible. And he's like, you haven't upgraded any of your weapons, you muppet. You can upgrade weapons.
That's amazing.
So I did that in Tunic as well, and I was feeling a complete plonker. But yeah, it's fantastic. I haven't played any Zelda games. I know people are calling it Zelda or Breath of the Wild. I can't remember which one. I don't really play too much Nintendo. A cross between that sort of thing and like a Souls game. I've not played any Souls games either.
Yeah, so I think that's sort of more, it's more the old school Zelda, isn't it? Like Link to the Past or something, I think. But
I guess.
Yeah, top down. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not a massive Zelda guy, but yeah, like definitely with the Souls blend, isn't it? I think Luke's probably a good person to ask about that. But yeah, carry on. We won't take it away from you for Jazz, and then we can go to Luke after. Yeah, anything else you want to? Yeah,
you're okay. Yeah, I think Dragon Wolf's got it he's got it right there in the chat. He said, "I'm hardcore." Absolutely, I don't play games.
Yeah, it doesn't want any help.
Things.
Yeah, don't want any handouts.
Just get there on the standard pistol you started at the beginning of the game with. I mean, and a plank of wood.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think there's again, talk about music in games these days. There's some amazing music in indie games, which is really surprising to be honest. It's not just how good it is, but the quality of all the composition. It all just works, much like Hollow Knight. And I was the first person to mention Hollow Knight tonight, Indy.
Wowzers! So, I'm proud.
Like it goes so well with the game. But yeah the exploration. I do like the toughness. There's some enemies in there that I tend to just run past now because I'm like, normally I try and kill everything in my path, like a murderous fox. But some of them, like, okay, they're just going to take my health down, so I'll leave them for a bit and come back. But yeah, really enjoying it. So interested to hear Luke's opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely know. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. That it's a great game, and I just want to quickly mention one quick comment here from Ash Reviews Games. He says games should tell you that exact thing if you haven't upgraded for a while. You haven't upgraded anything, you muppet. They want literally to use those words. Good shout, my friend.
Game development, not business software development.
You love it. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's one step aside, isn't it, basically? That's awesome. Some great people in the chat. Thank you, everyone who's here. Is there any comments you've seen, guys, that you wanted to read out? Because we've got some great people in. I know we've got Trinity in, and she's saying that Tunic is cute, but you may fall asleep due to the music. It is very chill. She says you have to go back and forth a bit to get things done, but it's very laid back. It is a great game. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's Metroidvania in there with regards to the backtracking and stuff like that. It's definitely an awesome game. I mean, the Souls part, I think you've got the obviously the stamina bar and stuff like that is in there. But yeah, Luke, my friend, how are you enjoying Tunic, buddy?
Well, I've only played probably about 5 minutes of it.
Oh, right, okay. That's a little bit then.
So it's on my list, and I think probably it's the next game I'll go to after I've done what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah. So it quite surprised me actually, because I played the demo when it came out, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't really think it was anything particularly special. And then, obviously it came out and kind of critic reviews hit, and, people I know played it, and everybody was raving about it, saying how incredible it was. Yeah. So that actually really surprised me, because I didn't get that impression from the demo. But
so many people have heard say that.
Yeah. So it seems, that there's a lot of depth to the game and a lot of surprises in it that kind of, really elevate it. And I think probably the demo just didn't convey any of that, because it's a demo.
It's hard to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. If I recall, the demo was just the intro of the game, which in of itself is not, particularly. Amazing. It's just an interest in the game. So so I'm looking forward to playing it, like actually properly playing it once I've got through some other stuff, and it's downloaded, and as I say, I played the first 5 maybe 10 minutes, so I'm looking forward to kind of pushing beyond that, maybe kind of past the first hour and seeing what's so highly acclaimed about it.
Right, interesting. Definitely, nice, good shout.
Yeah, certainly, music's great in it, and it's a nice looking game, and I mean that was always the case. I just didn't know if the gameplay would marry up, but apparently it does. So I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing with the demo. It's just you're getting the aesthetics basically, and that's all it is. And I think actually the game is a lot more than that for sure. That's where the charm really comes in. So you basically get the charm from the sort of searching. It's got a bit. Sorry, it's a bit like Hollow Knight in that way. You know, it's that discovery element. It's you know, that does really well, I think, and it's that sort of, you know, trying not to do any spoilers again, but you got that the manual which you have to search through, actually, you know, physically look through, and it does not hold your hand once again, and that's you know, rewarding in a sense that you can really look into that, and it's got its own way of doing things. I think it is a really great game, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it. I've done about, I don't know, maybe 5 hours actually, probably, or so, but yeah, like, I've got quite a bit more to do. I'm not sure how long it is. I know your podcast brothers Scott and Puxley have absolutely adored it, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Scott said 12 to 15 hours it took him. So awesome. Did you go for all of the goods, Scott, or did you kind of go mainline, or a bit of sort of like in between? But yeah, awesome stuff. It's looking awesome to me, for, you know, the rest of the game, for finishing it, basically. I'm definitely going back. It's not one of those games where it's like, yeah, I'm done with that. It's basically got me wanting more, basically. But yeah, like, the demo doesn't really reflect the full game, and the full game has got a lot of charm to it. Yeah, it's a wonderful game, and check it out if you haven't already, guys. But yeah, I think though it's a very novel and very clever idea, doing the manual where you pick up the pages and piece it all together, and it definitely, you know, harkens back to old games, but it also is just an unusual way of doing things, rather than just have a map and you know, you just sort of like have it all there for you, basically. I think it's a nice game design, and combat is fun. Probably not my favorite part of the game, I would say. It's definitely that, you know, the secrets and discovering the world, and there's definitely something curious going on in the game as well. There's this sort of force going on, which I think I'm going to find out a bit more about the more I get into the game. But yes, definitely enjoying it, and yeah, it was so much hype for it. It was one of those games that could have easily fallen a bit short because of all that hype, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting point as well you make about the combat. I think you're right. It takes some time to get used to it and get the timing down. But it's like this little fox has appeared on this land, and everything wants to kill him. But as soon as anything sees him, it's like, right, death to the fox. It's like, you know, what did the fox do? You know, chill out a little bit. Let him walk around and, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah,
the grass,
there is. I mean, that's again, yeah, exactly. Again, that's a Hollow Knight thing. You're just there, and it doesn't tell you what's going on. It's sort of like, you know, you're there, and you sort of find out along the way, I guess. I wonder how much of a story comes through. I think there is definitely something there, you know, to actually discover in the game. It feels like there is something going on with this. It's not just the normal world. There's sort of an underlying force, which is very interesting. Have seen a few naughty spoilers just by accident, and I feel like there's a lot of upgrades to get throughout the game, and there's a lot of things that can happen along the way. It feels like it's a journey that you really do build up and become very strong by the end, if you see what I mean. So I definitely like that about it. But yes, great to hear so many people are enjoying it. Definitely some good reviews for Tunic, and yeah, once again, thank you so much to everyone who is joining us. It is great to see you. I think we should move on from there, though. Maybe we should actually, Juds, do you fancy reading out a few comments, buddy, from the chat, as you love a bit of comment reading? Do you fancy picking up a few from the chat for me?
Oh, I'll have to be scrolling.
Sorry. I
apologise
for throwing that one out there.
No, you're all right, mate. You're all right.
Keeping you on your toes, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm literally trying to find one that we haven't talked about at the minute.
No worries at all.
I just
want to shout out to Ori in the house, though. Sorry, you go ahead, my friend.
Sorry, yeah, was that Ori you were shouting?
Ori in the house, yeah. Good to see you, buddy.
Ori, the legend, the mastermind of indie games, the quiz extraordinaire.
Yes.
Yeah, Pixel Slapper was talking about Virtua Fighter, and I'm trying to find the context of what he was saying in there.
Nice.
But yeah, it just seems like everybody was pretty much digging Ori.
digging Ori. Yeah.
I'm still sick, everybody.
That's all good, my friend. No worries. No, it's good stuff. Flame saying the gators need to be deleted. They are a bit of a challenge in a pack, that's for sure. But yeah, the game is challenging, but and people who watch me streaming it, they would have seen me die a fair few times, especially on that boss. But I like that, you know, it's part of the process. You know, if you just beat the boss straight away, there's not as much enjoyment to be had, in my opinion. It should be a challenge, and you should have to figure out the best way around these bosses. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed beating that boss. Scott was hanging in there with me on stream, so thank you, buddy. And yeah, we got there in the end, but definitely loving the game a lot. And Stubbs is saying, where's Silksong? Got to mention it once in a while, every single show. But it's on the way. Yeah, we are definitely going to be getting that game one day. It's going to be happening, and when it happens, the world will blow up in excitement. But yes, let's move forward then, guys, and see where we are next. So like I say, thank you to everyone who is joining us. We're going to move on to one of the games that was featured in that Xbox showcase, and that was Trek to Yomi, which looks absolutely awesome. I know all three of us, I believe, are actually really excited for this game. But yes, let's go ahead and check out a bit of Trek to Yomi and, you know, have a little bit of a breakdown, because we do have a release date, of course. The 5th of May was confirmed to be the release date for Trek to Yomi. This game looks absolutely awesome. Just super stylish, cinematic, and definitely, as this was something that Luke that said when you first saw it, it has a bit of that sort of Song of Iron aspect to it. I definitely agree with that. Definitely a different tonal thing going on, but you know, the black and white is super stylish, very of the Japanese feel to it. But yeah, 5th of May is not long. Confirmed for Game Pass, also coming to PC, of course, and as well as PlayStation, so it's coming out across the board. Very exciting times. Luke, my friend, I know you're pretty excited for this. Another Devolver gem in the bag potentially. What do you reckon, buddy?
Yeah, definitely excited for it. I watched all of the. So they released I think a 15-minute gameplay walkthrough. Actually,
they did. I saw that. Yeah.
So I watched all of that, and it looks. I have one reservation about it. So, and I think it's fair that I talk about it.
Okay.
Which is that. So it looks super stylish. I really love what they've done in terms of getting that, you know, Kurosawa kind of, you know, traditional Japanese-y type action cinema. That's all really cool. And I thought the voice acting was pretty good as well. The one thing that I didn't see from the initial trailer, which obviously the gameplay revealed a lot, is the combat. And I didn't think the combat looked particularly great, at least not to look at.
Sure.
It may be different when you get your hands on a controller and you're actually there. It looked a little floaty, kind of. It's very hard to describe. I mean, it looked very simple, which I think is probably the case, because we're dealing with a melee game that's 3D, 2D, and it's trying to invoke, that kind of limited movement that Japanese action cinema has, from samurai, basically, where the amount of actual strikes that people are doing is very narrow, because guess what? If you get hit by a sword, you're pretty much dead. Yep. So it's not that the fights were particularly short, because I don't mind that, because if you play something like Ghost of Tsushima, and I know that's probably a poor comparison because that's a big AAA game, but in terms of the way that does combat, it's very similar. It's kind of like it's not about slashing your way repeatedly through stuff. It's about very considered, strikes, and fights can be over very quickly. So none of that's an issue. It's just that I think when you're dealing with a 2D game, which is very linear, and you're not operating in a 3D space, and you're able to kind of have multiple enemies coming at you from different angles, and you use different tools to fight those. I think the problem with the demo was that, and it may be a problem with the game, it may not be, I don't know until I've played it, is that it's all a bit too simple and a bit kind of, it doesn't look particularly visceral or engaging to actually fight people. I think that was the issue I had with it. Everything else about the game looks fantastic, and it may be that even if the combat isn't particularly great, all of the other stuff will make up for it, because aesthetics are amazing and the music's incredible. I really like what they've done in terms of the kind of voice acting, and all of that stuff looks awesome. It wasn't that blown away by how it seem to play, which is obviously very important. But I need to play it. So I mean, luckily the great thing is it's coming to Game Pass, right? So I don't have to think, okay, well, I'm gonna have to spend money to maybe see if I actually like this. But that was the only thing that kind of put a little downer on it for me from the gameplay demo. It just kind of tweaks my expectation back a little. I guess dialed it back.
It's sometimes hard to tell, isn't it? You can't get a feel for it when you're not hands-on, I guess. Hopefully that won't be the case when you play it. You might find it actually to be more enjoyable than you sort of first thought it might be. Yeah.
It could be something that you play, and actually when you play it, it's very satisfying. And combat's great, I just didn't see it at all in that demo. I just saw it was very much sort of the demo was the epitome, I think, and I don't mean this in a bad way, of style over substance for a game. It was everything looks incredible, the presentation's amazing.
Yeah.
But does it look actually fun to play or really engaging? It might not be. That's not a bad thing, because if you think about it, games like any Playdead game, right?
Yeah.
The actual mechanics are very simplistic. They're not super involved, but it's everything else that elevates the experience of the game. Playdead games, and that's why they're so incredible. So it could be something like that. But I think we'll just have to see when it comes out. So I don't mean to put a downer on it, but
no, it's not. It's just genuine opinions. Definitely. It's totally feel free to do that. That's what we're all about, is keeping those opinions honest and straight up, for sure. It could be one of those games where, like Ash says as well, he agrees with you and says, that it may be one of those games that shines in other areas, and as long as, I guess, it's not. That doesn't pull the game down too far. It's serviceable, I guess, if you know what I mean. And it shines well in other areas. So hopefully it will bring, good experience. Good thing is it's going to be in Game Pass. I hate to say that sort of stuff, but we don't have to risk things. We can still jump in and find out. But that is the advantage of that subscription service, which is pretty cool.
For sure.
It's definitely a game I'm looking forward to checking out. I have a feeling it might not be the longest game potentially.
No, I think it'll be a couple of hours, to be honest. I don't think it'll be that long, but that's fine.
Totally.
As long as it's a good couple of hours. I'm very happy for it to be 3 hours. Like that's lovely. For us adults, that's limited time. It's become increasingly a selling point when a game has a shorter playtime to me. So as long as it's engaging, it could be. It doesn't have to be long at all.
Exactly. No, that's a great shout. Yeah, it's more about concise and awesome is, rather than wishy-washy, isn't it? It's good stuff. Yes, good stuff, my friend. That was great takes. So, Judzilla, my friend, are you excited to check out... the name of this game has gone. Trek to Yomi for some reason. Sorry, guys. I've lost it. Trek to Yomi on the 5th of May, my friend.
I was until Luke started speaking. Then I'm just depressed now. So just forget it.
Sorry about that,
John. No. There's a couple of things about this. Firstly, coming to Game Pass is awesome. I think it's going to get a lot of exposure that way as well, which can only be good for the dev. The second thing is Devolver. I can't remember if it is GPG or Stubbs midweek. One of the podcasts were talking about Devolver, like Annapurna. They don't miss.
No, definitely
They're just
not.
Releasing hit after hit, and these things are coming out. So, fantastic. Now, as far as the game's concerned, I pretty much agree with what Luke said, with a slight exception. And that is, if you look at the combat in this game, it gives me a little bit of Song of Iron vibes. So they're the guy with the arrow, so I'm probably watching it behind you guys. But the way the bow and arrow works, the way you kind of, obviously move across the screen like that, they come in from the 3D background and foreground to fight and stand around waiting for you. And I think that was a bit of a limitation in Song of Iron. I think Joe's going to do something with that in the sequel that may or may not be coming.
Oh.
Who knows? Who knows? But,
spoilers.
But I think where
just let the cat out of the bag.
I think my house is full of cats. I'm always giving up secrets. I think where it differs though from something like Song of Iron is you can see there's a couple of little cutscenes in here. So whether there's more expansion on the narrative side is going to be interesting. And then finally, point number 4, I think, if anyone's been counting or cares, point number 4 is the combat in Ghost of Tsushima, if anyone's played that, is very, very situational and context. You know, you got different stances and styles and different ways to beat people with, you know, the long swords and like that thing he's got there. I can't remember what it's called now, or a katana, and you actually do different styles and all that stuff. How much of that may be built into this, I'm not sure. Probably not anywhere as near as complex as that, but there may be a little bit of scope for it. We won't know until we've played it, I guess. But as far as the game, the looks, it just looks so beautiful. I can't wait to try it. It's already preloaded on my Series X, so I'm going to jump straight into it the first minute I can. I'm really looking forward to it. Despite Luke destroying everyone's hype, I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luke's just a realist, isn't it? I think he's played a lot of games like we all have, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It's been objective, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, I know what you mean. I'm definitely still really up for this game, to be honest with you. I think the combat will be all right. I think it'll be good. I think it won't, you know, probably might not be its best aspect. Maybe it's definitely cinematic and beautiful. But I don't know though. You know, I'm still quite optimistic about the combat. Obviously, like it is all on the 2D plane, obviously, and maybe that for this type of game that may not be the best thing, but you gotta love slashing through people, going past them, and then stabbing backwards into their back. That's always going to be fun, surely.
Well, that's the way of life, isn't it?
Most definitely. You know, I think it should be a lot of fun, I think. And the one thing I was wondering, actually, I don't know if you remember picking up on this earlier, Luke, like months back, whenever it was, but the tone of the game, it's not. Is there a bit of like almost a weird tone thing going on with it being not all like serious and like cinematic? Is there a bit of like almost comedy, was there, or something that we saw in one of the, can you remember what I mean?
No, from what I've always seen of it, they're very much going for the Kurosawa, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some Kurosawa stuff, I guess, has humorous bits in it.
Okay, right.
It always seemed pretty serious. I mean, it's pretty standard. It seems pretty standard fare, you know, samurai revenge story sort of thing. But,
yeah, well, that's what I was kind of hoping. It'd be a bit weird if tonally for me if it did have some. I wondered,
suddenly, you know, Monty Python.
Yeah, imagine that.
Like,
classic. Yeah. Maybe it was because I saw some strange weapons or something at one point. I thought maybe that was what it was actually.
I think I saw some. There was some kind of supernatural stuff that I remember seeing. I don't know if it was in the most recent trailer, actually.
Okay.
So there might be something like that, but I can't recall seeing funny stuff. I think maybe there was one scene, like I think it may be unintentionally funny, some of it, because all the enemies have this kind of really heavy ragdoll when they die. I remember there was one scene, I think, where he like the character hits some rope and causes like rocks or something to fall. Oh, it might be on screen at the minute, actually.
Right.
And like it kind of looks a bit silly, but I don't think they're going for it. You know, they're aiming for it. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a comedy game. I don't know. You know?
I just felt out there. But I think it was something like that. Yeah, potentially the supernatural element, because I think it's good as this, you know, that kind of like has that serious sort of samurai like revenge story thing. That's a great theme, I think, and I think that will be the best way for it to go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tucking into it and you know, experiencing it in maybe 1 or 2 sittings or something like that. If it's probably going to be a shorter, like, you know, rich experience, I think that's going to serve it well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. Yeah, I'm definitely up for it. How about guys in the chat? Are you up for some Trek to Yomi? We have got Dreadpool in the house now. Thank you very much for coming by, my friend. It's great to see you. Yes, let's see here. Do we have any takes on the Trek to Yomi goodness? Earlier on, Scott was saying that absolutely, if a game is 10 to 20 hours, it's a selling point for him these days. He just started Guardians of the Galaxy, and it sounds like the perfect length. Good shout, my friend. Trinity was just mentioning about Artful Escape. Felt so priceless to play, even, excuse me, and the music within that game was gave 80s vibes, and need to buy that game. Yeah, that is an amazing game. One of my most anticipated, and it's turned out so well, so great to see. But yeah, Scott says he is excited for this game, which is awesome. Yes, no, I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one for Game Pass, as I say again. I definitely like, you know, I've been into like martial arts films and stuff. That's a bit different to kind of this. this, but it's got that same sort of like vibe to it. So I've always really enjoyed those sort of films, and I think this is definitely going down that very, very cinematic route. Obviously, we've got the extreme widescreen thing going on the screen right now. They're looking at, making it sort of a real cinematic experience, and I think they're very much nailing that aesthetic down. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. We haven't got long to wait. 5th of May is not a long time away. I've actually put a little request into Devolver to see if I might be able to get a press sort of slightly ahead of time, but I very much doubt it, because Devolver are rock solid to break through to get anything back from. But I thought I'd try it out and see if I can get in, so I can cover this a bit earlier. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath for Devolver, because yeah, it's hard to get on their list, is to say the least. Some other people are a lot easier, but one day maybe. But anyways, yeah, Trek to Yomi, guys, bring it on. It's looking awesome. And Trinity is also agreeing about martial arts movie being her jam. Don't get me started on IP, man. Love it. Good stuff, Trinity. But yeah, thank you everyone who's hanging out. It's got 20 of you in. It's awesome to see you guys. Thanks so much everyone for being here. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe. This channel is dedicated to indie games, and yeah, we love to bring all the latest indie game goodness to you. So if you are, like I say, a fan of indie games, definitely feel free to subscribe. It'll be awesome to have you on board. But we are going to keep this bad boy moving and move on to our next topic right now, I believe. And what we're going to jump into is a little indie spotlight. We have prepared for you guys three games, basically. One game each of us are going to pick here for an upcoming indie game. So like basically an indie spotlight on games that are coming up. And like I say, we've chosen one each to highlight for you guys, but we recommend that you keep an eye out for, maybe drop a wish list for. And we're going to move into that topic right now. Like I say, an indie spotlight for an upcoming games. What I would love to hear as well is your upcoming games, sort of like the games that you're looking forward to in the chat. So is there any games from the indie scene that you're looking forward to? Drop them in the chat. We'll definitely read those out for you. Just to let you know as well, we have got a couple of keys to give out as well, which I'm going to do after this topic. It's actually for a game from a member of the community who has made a game called Back to School from Zemi Games. He has dropped us a couple of keys to give out. So I'm going to be giving out a couple of Xbox keys for Back to School, his game that he has created. We're going to do that after this topic, so hang in there, guys, and we'll drop you a couple of keys. And like I say, you can grab them from the chat if you fancy it. But yes, moving on to the next topic. Like I say, we're going to be highlighting 3 indie games now. And firstly, I think we're going to send this one to my good man Judzilla. So what is it you're going to be highlighting today for us, my friend?
Well, I'm going to be talking about a game called Atomic Heart by Mundfish Games. This is one that's been in quite a few of the shows. Extremely anticipated. Obviously, due to the world situation, it's Mundfish are a Russian developer, and this game is set in an alternate Soviet Union. So all that stuff aside, just concentrate on the game. It looks absolutely awesome. I love alternate realities, anything alternate sort of future, Star Trek episodes where they're going to alternate stuff, and things like BioShock, where they've got an alternate sort of reality where you're living under the sea and stuff like that. I love stuff like that, alternate timelines, alternate futures, all that sort of thing. So this game, it looks amazing. And the other point I was going to make about this, and I think it was GPG again that were talking about engines the other day, because we had the Unreal 5 engine update that's come out, and the Unity stuff that's looking pretty awesome. And it's kind of something I wanted to get across. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, indie connoisseurs in this chat will know, but there's a little bit of a perception about indie games like, oh yeah, they're like, sort of kids games, or they're, one certain style, like pixel art. All of those are amazing. But then look at this game, an indie developer. I don't know what engine this is actually written in.
I think it's Unreal.
It might well be Unreal, yeah. But I think having things like Unreal out there that you can go out and just like literally start creating a game I've developed in Unity, for example, for work, with HoloLens and augmented reality and all that stuff. And
Nice.
it's relatively easy. I say relatively easy.
Yeah.
As opposed to writing your own engine, because the discussion on Green Pass was, are we going to continue to have these engines dominating? I think they will, and I think they'll benefit indie developers, because a solo developer can pick something up. I think Song of Iron was Unreal as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Song of Iron's Unreal Engine 4, yeah, and it's... Oh, no, stop talking. Go ahead. Yes, Song of Iron's Unreal.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, sorry. It's just check myself there.
So that makes perfect sense. And, it just goes to show that one person, with a little bit of help, can actually create an entire game in something like Unreal.
Yeah.
And look at the quality of this game. So this is coming out 2022. It's got a BER at the end. They've got stars, so it's October, September, December.
Sneaky.
We don't know.
I like it. They're definitely hyping it up, weren't they, with this trailer?
Yeah, I know. Did an awesome job as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was this could be a November, October, or September, I guess.
I would hope so.
Yeah, unless there's any other months I don't know about. Yes.
Start and end with beer in my house. So
yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter about the other E.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's great. Yeah, that looks cool.
Just look at the game though. It's quite quirky. Some of the art style and some of the robots and stuff in it. It's basically robotics in the 1930s allowed the Soviet Union to defeat Nazi Germany. And this is the whole, the robot revolution kind of thing. This is the story of that, and in this alternate reality. And there's been a massive disaster. And of course, the robots rebel against the creators, because that's every story with robots in it. So yeah, again, it's intriguing. It's an alternate reality. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm very interested to play it. I love RPGs as well, so FPS RPG. So this is going to be really cool, and I would love to hear what Luke thinks of this, and you, of course, and then also what everyone in the chat thinks of this. So for me, it looks absolutely stunning.
Definitely, buddy. Yeah, I think it looks awesome, and BioShock is one of my favorite games ever. I mean, this has definitely got a different tone, but it's definitely got that sort of like, that dictator thing going on, where it's a bit of a crazy world and sort of just like dystopian, isn't it, or whatever's going on. I think it looks really cool in that way. And also, is there like you've got like guns, and then is there some sort of kind of other element on, so how in BioShock you have guns on your right hand and you have on the left trigger you have like the powers and stuff? Yeah, it has got it. Yeah, I was just waiting for that to come up on the screen. Then so it's the same in BioShock, isn't it? You've got guns in your right hand, you've got left hand, you can do powers. Like this one, it looks like you can lift people up with it and stuff. So that's super interesting to me.
And the melee system, you actually create weapons by crafting things you pick up. There's like metal parts and pieces you can snap off robots, and then you can create melee weapons on the fly to use, as well as the shooting and the lightning and all that stuff out your hand. So I think it's got a lot of really cool elements. I mean, look at that, for example. That looks absolutely awesome.
Definitely. It looks really cool.
Powers and guns. Gotta love it.
Definitely. No, it's a great pick, buddy. How about yourself, Luke? What do you think about Atomic Heart?
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. It's been in development for, I think, a long time, actually. I was a bit reluctant about it at first, because they were releasing these screenshots that looked, the term bullshot comes to mind, which I think was probably popularized by Ubisoft back in the day, when they would just release these screenshots that were, just ridiculous. And obviously the final game never looked like that.
Right,
And then they released, these guys have released a few different gameplay trailers and stuff, and it actually comes very close to what they're showing. So I'm definitely interested in it. It does, the very heavy BioShock vibes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's cool that they've given, a window now, having had it in development for so long. So looking forward to actually checking it out and seeing what it's like. I mean, it looks super high budget, as Juds was saying, it kind of really blurs the line between AAA and indie. It's on my radar, so I'm looking forward to actually getting my hands on it.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it looks super cool. I'm definitely up for checking it out. It's super weird as well, which is in a good way, you know what I mean? It's definitely got some crazy sort of visuals going on, and like, you know, with like the droids or whatever they are. That's pretty
Hey, there's a fun fact here, Indy, as well.
Okay.
It's definitely Unreal 4, but the fun fact,
Yep.
the music in this game, Mick Gordon.
Is it?
The guy that did Doom. Yeah.
Nice. That is a good little booster, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
That is pretty damn cool, actually. Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, Mick Gordon, what a guy doing the Doom soundtrack. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Well, have you listened to much of the music on it? Actually, I haven't really noticed too much. Obviously, I just mute it on here. So, yeah, what's the music? Is it quite rocky or?
This trailer, yeah, it's very, when you hear it, you'll go, yeah, that's Mick Gordon.
Yep. Yeah, cool. He's got a signature sound.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, no, that is a great little booster as well. Got some good comments coming in from the chat. Flame saying Atomic Heart's quality reminds me of the first Hellblade. And Ori is saying, incredible, this is an indie game, it looks fantastic. Absolutely. And Ash says, more games that resemble Bioshock, Prey, System Shock for the better. Love that kind of stuff. Couldn't agree more with that. Definitely some great takes coming in from the chat, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's hanging out. Awesome to have you here and enjoying the indie goodness as we love to do on the channel. It's all awesome to see so many great names in there. And shout out to Blue Moon FC in the house. Great to see you as well, buddy. Thank you very much for being here. And yes, so is there anything you wanted to add in there, guys, about Atomic Heart? Juz, is there anything else you wanted to add? I mean, you've sold me on it. I mean, I already was pretty much there, but I think this new trailer is the best trailer they've put out yet for sure.
100%, yeah. I haven't got anything else. I was saving up my Mick Gordon.
That's your closing statement.
That was the bonus ball, baby.
Yeah, bonus ball. I love it. No, that's a great shout. Excellent. Okay, well, that is one of our upcoming indie spotlight picks, I guess you could call them, from my man Judzilla. Great choice there, buddy. And we are going to move over to our next pick of the day from the indie spotlight. This time it's going to be Luke Steele's pick. So yes, Luke, what have you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, so this is one of the games I mentioned earlier, actually. So There Is No Light, which is a super cool looking game. I feel like a lot of indies are doing this now, where particularly 2D top down, you can have these amazing kind of art styles, and you can really go kind of wild with how you want your game to look aesthetically, and you know, the art and stuff like that. And I feel like this is one where they've, you know, it's very clearly influenced by stuff like Bloodborne, you know, Souls games in general. Reminds me a bit kind of early Devil May Cry settings as well, and also the gameplay a little bit.
Nice,
and I mean, it's you know, a pixel art world. They've said that it's kind of a pretty long story. So I think they said on their Steam page that it's about 30 hours long, which is neither a negative nor a positive in one sense, because it, you know, nobody's played it. So
if it holds your attention, then it's all good, isn't it?
It's all good. Yeah, then it's great. And if it doesn't, then that's a bad time.
Yeah, so, exactly.
So. We'll see. They've said there's loads of different enemies and bosses. You know, bosses are a big part of the game, much like they are in, you know, Souls games. They're kind of the real crux of those games, and the real special moments often come from that. I think they said as well that the narrative's non-linear, so there's branching player decision storylines effectively, which is really cool, very ambitious as well. And they have stuff like, you know, upgrade systems for weapons and all that sort of stuff. So I think, you know, it's just something that really looks great. And then when you look into it and they're promising this kind of deep gameplay experience with a story, you know, I think that's really attractive for me. You know, obviously the combat looks really, really cool. And I really like the dash stuff that goes on. It has this real rhythm to it. In fact, I said earlier, it reminded me a bit of Hyper Light Drifter, but it also reminds me of Dead Cells in the way that, you know, you can kind of dash around, and even the I guess the kind of visceral reaction of enemies when you hit them and stuff like that. It has a real it's the opposite of Trek to Yomi.
Right, fair enough.
has a real like oomph to the combat, a real kind of great feedback loop. So it is really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how it will turn out, but from everything I've seen from the gameplay and stuff like that, and the trailers, it looks awesome. So they don't have a release date, I don't think. So
Okay.
I don't even know if it's coming out this year. It seems to be not super early, but a little bit off yet. So it'll be interesting to see how it evolves.
Yeah, definitely. No, it looks super interesting actually. So when was this actually revealed? Sorry, was it recent?
So I think actually it was revealed last year on PC.
Yep.
I feel like I'd seen it before, but I think they then went a bit dark on it. Probably to try and keep building the game.
Sure.
And yeah. So I don't know how long it's been in dev for. Definitely a couple of years.
Cool.
It just looks really cool.
And they're targeting next year, is that it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
So I don't think they've actually put a release date on it. So
Cool,
I think it's just when it's ready. I suspect it might jump in early access on Steam at some point.
I was going to say,
these type of games tend to.
Definitely.
So we'll see what happens with it, but it certainly looks really, really interesting, and I'm very, very interested in it.
Yeah. So is it got roguelike or elements, or is it just more like sort of like linear Souls? I mean, obviously open world, but got a progression thing where it's sort of you go through the story, but it's open. Is that the kind of more focus it is going for?
Yeah, it's not. By the looks of things, it's not going for any roguelike stuff.
Right.
It's very much, as you say, it's very much. Here's a story.
Yeah.
There's a branching story, as it said. But it's not an emphasis on repeated runs. I mean, obviously there is some of that in Souls games. I don't know if there's a similar mechanic here where you die at a checkpoint and then you respawn, your enemies are back there. I don't think that's what it's going for. I think it's much more sort of inspired by Souls, but it's not taking a lot of the mechanics. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know you love your Souls games, and they seem very much popular at the moment. By one big game that seems to be getting into people's line of sight, which is interesting. I know it's not your sort of truest of these Souls games, but it's getting people in on the Souls genre that maybe wouldn't have tried it before, and then maybe they'll move on to the more like hardcore, basically, like maybe a actual Dark Souls game, essentially. It's quite a good entry point, isn't it, with Elden Ring is what I'm obviously referring to. It's good. There's so many great games out there, which are Souls inspired as well, so it doesn't just open it up to the actual, Dark Souls games or whatever, or Bloodborne or whatever, but there's so many games from in the indie space which just get inspiration from it, and like this one, for example, definitely is a great formula. And this is looking really cool. Yeah, definitely. It's a great pick, my friend. Looking forward to it. It's got that, dark feel. Like you say, the branching narratives is cool. It's even tagged as that on Steam, I think, as one. Yeah, one of the. I think cool. I forget the name they use on there, but it basically means branching narrative or something. I forget. Or it says, you power over the. I can't remember I'll have to have a look at that. But yeah, basically branching narrative. So it's obviously a key part of the game, which is really, really cool. I like that, where you impactful decisions and stuff like that, which take you in different routes. But yeah, I think it looks awesome. Great pick, and it was actually one that I didn't have on my radar at all. So thank you very much for putting it on my radar. Funnily enough,
you're very welcome.
Yes, that's what we do for each other on here. We look out for each other and get some games on the radar. But yeah, Judd's my friend. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, interesting. So just before I give my little opinion, Scott in the chat says he was getting some Hades vibes from the combat, and Trinity agreed. Yeah.
So, the dash and the attack, kind of dashing around. Yeah.
So that's interesting. This one wasn't on my radar either, to be honest with you. So thanks, Luke. You're not allowed to talk about Trek to Yomi anymore, but thanks for talking about this one.
Sorry, I ruined that for you. all you hear is my voice when you play that game.
It's just going to be an ongoing meme now forever. It's like Luke hates Trek to Yomi. Live with it.
Destroyer of games.
This one wasn't on my radar either. It looks really cool. I think the thing I like about what Luke was saying there is the fact that branching narratives. I mean, again, if you look at what I said about Atomic Heart and the blurring of the lines, as Luke put it, and having an unexpected sort of aesthetic or quality or whatever you want to call that from an indie title. Branching narratives, that's always been the domain of things like Mass Effect and The Witcher and Dragon Age and all these kind of big games that it's like, oh, you must have an enormous team to do all these different branches and endings. And I like that about this. It's blending some of the stuff, like you said, it harkens back to some of the other games, very similar sort of feel to some of the other games you mentioned, but it's got this branching narrative in it as well, which I haven't seen too much in games like this. So that really intrigues me. So this is now on my radar. I'll look out for this one.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, it's definitely cool, that element. And just quickly checked out what it was. The terminology they use on Steam, it's choices matter is what it says on Steam for the branching narrative thing that I was trying to think of then. So yeah, that's really cool, I think, and a good element. And I definitely like the look of the combat, and the dark feel of the game is super nice too, as I do like my dark games. And Luke thinks I don't like violence, but I do. He just likes to tease me about. He just likes to tease me about Blasphemous, which is one game that I just sort of like move on from, if you know what I mean. It's not really my tone of game. Anyways, we're gonna get the Blasphemous cast in a minute. It's going to turn into. I want to quickly read an awesome little comment from my man Scott in the chat. He wanted to put out there 2 games that he is super looking forward to and maybe would like to highlight. He has put forward Somerville and Loot River, 2 fantastic choices there. Somerville, funnily enough, I was almost going to do a little topic on the actual. There was a little leak a little while ago, and it was on Twitter, and it had a few games that sort of had rumoured release dates. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. It was, what's his name? The Xbox guy who puts out the rumours. I forget his name now.
Clobrill?
No, I think he's Irish, I think. Forgotten his name now. But anyway.
Irish?
Yeah, I think he's Irish. You'd probably know him if you saw him. I bet Scott will probably know him. Anyway, he put out a little thing, and it had like a list of games. It had basically Somerville at the top, and that was actually right at the end of April for a release date. And I was like, "Ooh!" And it said like could be release window, might not be true. Take it with a pinch of salt. But at the same time, it did look like it could have been true, because a lot of the other dates on it seemed like accurate, if you see what I mean. But yeah, you never know. I wonder if that could be the case, that we might be getting. Oh, it's Idle Sloth. I just remembered. I think he's Irish.
Yeah, Special Nick's Australian flame.
Yeah, do you know Idle Sloth?
Yeah.
Is he Irish? Oh my God, have I lost the plot?
I have no idea.
I think he is.
I have no idea.
But yeah, it had so it had that on there as the top one. 22nd, I think, of April it was. So imagine that. You never know. Keep an eye out, guys. Somerville.
That's coming to Game Pass as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So, and I think Loot River is confirmed for Game Pass, but they're 2 great shouts anyway, Scott. Yeah, check out Idle Sloth. He has some good like rumored stuff. He's very reputable. He's not like just random. He likes to keep it real. I think Scott knows who that is by the look of it. He says, "Oh yes, Idle Sloth. I know who that is, but I didn't know who. I think he might be Irish.
He
double
is
check.
Irish.
Oh, he
He's
is.
in Ireland.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so definitely worth checking out if you like your Xbox news and things. He does that sort of thing, and that was actually more PC based. That particular one, I think it was. He was covering it as a perspective wise, but anyway, he covers a lot of stuff worth checking out. But yes, thank you so much everyone who's hanging out for this stream. It's awesome to be chatting indie games with you all. One of my favorite things to do. Such great people in once again. You're all legends. Thank you very much for your support. It means the world. So yes, where are we? We are heading on to myself. I've got to make a pick now, haven't I, guys? But I love both of your picks so far. I wonder if you can guess what my pick might be.
Oh, I could guess because it was in the DM earlier, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. Don't forget, was it? No, I didn't. I think I kept it secret.
Kept it secret. Oh.
We shall see in just a moment's time. So here we go. My pick is up. I wonder if maybe anyone in the chat can guess my pick before it comes up. It's probably too late. Anyway, my pick. I have mentioned it a few times already on the channel. This is my upcoming indie game spotlight on Midnight Fight Express, which I think looks amazing. Basically, I think it's one of my favorite games, my favorite upcoming games for sure. It just looks so damn good. I think just it looks like an absolute blast for starters, but the animations and the look of the game, the way it flows, it just looks spot on in my opinion. There is a reason why it looks so smooth in animations and everything like that, and that's because all of the animations in this game are motion capture, which is pretty damn incredible. So yeah, you're looking at a top-down game with full motion capture fighting. Basically, I've watched a video as well, and it is basically two guys who are top class martial artists just going at it basically in the motion capture suits. You know what I'm saying? So they're just like having a blast doing amazing like martial arts moves, and I'm like I said earlier, a big fan of martial arts in general, so I do enjoy some cool kicks and things like that, and this game just looks so damn good. This one is actually coming in summer 2022 as it's just popped up. I think it's August. I think there was at one point, I think it maybe even put into August, but yeah, guess how many developers are working on this game, guys? Just the one. Pretty incredible. Apart from obviously you've got some talent there on doing all the motion capture, which doesn't really count because he's hiring them in to do that. But you know, it's just amazing. One developer making this game. This is going to be an awesome game. Do get this one on your radar, guys, because I think it's going to be a big hit when it comes out. I really hope so. I wonder if Luke's got any issue with the animations and the combat in this game. I would imagine not, because I think it looks damn sweet. But anyway, I'm super excited for this game, more than a lot of games. It's definitely one of my top at most anticipated games. I'd love to know what you guys think about it, if you've seen it before, or if it's your first time seeing it. Like I say, give it a wish list. It's coming to Xbox, by the way, and it's coming to Steam, and I'm not sure about other consoles. I think did they say Game Pass, Juds? Have they said Game Pass about this one? I think they might have.
I don't think so, but it is coming to the Switch.
It's got Switch as well. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, it's coming across the board, and like I say, very, very excited for this game. Definitely follow the developer on this one, Jacob Zwindel, I believe it might be, on Twitter. He's posting GIFs so often with some awesome clips and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I really want to hear what you guys feel about this game. I'm going to ask Luke first, actually, to say, as I've posed the question to him. What do you think of this one, my friend?
Specifically the fighting.
Terrible.
Worse than Trek To Yomi combat. No, I've seen this before, and it looks great. It looks really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah, the combat looks very visceral. It looks really good. You know, it's. I think I remember it was at shows where they were also showing Sifu, funnily enough, which obviously, you know, the very similar sort of conceits that they're going for. So,
I agree.
But this one just looks really kind of bonkers in a way that Sifu didn't. Like, it's kind of going for the really over the top stuff.
Definitely.
It looks really good. I'm looking forward to it. You know, again, I mean, one developer, you know, it's pretty crazy how good it looks, you know what I mean?
It is indeed.
So, and you get those kind of, you know, I get that very kind of John Wick vibe for it, which a lot of games seem to be trying to, you know, replicate now. That kind of combat, and I just think it looks great. So yeah, looking forward to checking it out.
Nice, good stuff, my friend. Yeah, definitely got those John Wick vibes, hasn't it? Like, it's over the top in a great way. But yeah, like, it has all, you know, a mixture of like the Hotline Miami vibes in there and stuff, like those kinds of games, if you know what I mean, as well, where it's just like, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like a kind of like a 3D top-down Hotline Miami. It's got that kind of gore as well.
Yes.
Obviously not too over the top. I'm sure there's an option to turn that off, Indy, if you want. But you know, like, it's got it released. So, but
I'll be turning it up.
I think it's actually, the more you look at it, the more inspired by Hotline Miami it seems to be. You know, but just translated into 3D, which is awesome. So
yeah, exactly. Just the movement and everything in it is just so fluid and beautiful. It's stunning to me. And some cool set pieces, like the bits where they're coming down like on the side of the building, like just there with, you know, like the SWAT team, whatever it might be. I just just think that the set pieces look amazing, and there seems to be like so many different scenarios. Like I think there was a plane or something, and like different places in the club. That's a bit similar to Sifu, as you'll well know, Luke. But yeah, definitely like, it's a good comparison with the Sifu. I always think of that, but it seems a bit more sort of arcadey than Sifu, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, it's going, as I say, it's a bit more over the top.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a bit more kind of not silly, but Sifu's plays it a little bit straighter than this does.
Yeah, exactly. They're more about that sort of like true to the martial arts sort of like revenge thing, like almost. But yeah, so Judzy Baby, what do you think of this one, my friend?
Well, firstly, mate, I want a clarification. So you said before it was two guys going at it in motion.
I knew you were going to come back to that.
You're talking about fighting, right?
Oh my god, that's going to be clipped.
I just don't want VJ to get confused if he watches this back. So
two guys going at it.
Let's just clear this up, right?
Oh dear.
I think this obviously looks fantastic. And again, this game is developed in Unity, as I said earlier. About one person can grab Unity and create something like this. So it looks absolutely awesome. The animations look absolutely fantastic. Try and squeeze a few more absolutely's into a sentence, and would be good. Some cool stuff about this. It does sort of have some of that Sifu vibes, absolutely. But again, you can use different weapons as well as the environment, which I think is always cool. How contextually sensitive that is going to be interesting to play, because it's kind of a bit of a further out zoomed view than Sifu. But it's also got some lighter RPG elements as well, so you can upgrade and do new fighting styles and moves and stuff. So that's going to be pretty interesting, to be honest with you, to see how deep that goes as well. With it being one guy, I suspect it'll be a light touch, but the fact that it's in there in this game developed by one dude is just awesome. I mean, and I can't, talking about walking around with a horse's head and Rupert the Bear pants on,
exactly,
crap out of people in elevators. What's not to love?
Absolutely.
You gotta love that.
Yes. Definitely. No, it looks amazing, and definitely more people should be getting this one on the radar. Hopefully it's getting people's attention now. I think Scott has noticed, hasn't noticed this one before, and he's seen it now. So hopefully you're enjoying seeing this one, guys, because I mean, I'm all over this bad boy. It's definitely looking amazing, and glad to hear everyone else is looking forward to it as well.
Ash says it's coming to PS4 as well, Indy, in case you're on that platform.
Thank you very much. That's very kind. Yep, excellent. So Ash says two guys going at it in a motion capture is behind the scenes video added to the deluxe edition. Look what you've done.
That's when you have to pay Indy under the counter for.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. Puxley is in the house. It is awesome to see you, Puxley. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for coming by. And who else have we got? So let's have a look. We have got Ori saying it looks pretty dope, not gonna lie. Definitely. We've got some accent chat going on in the chat. I think that might have spun off from the Irish part earlier on.
Luckily, we know that Stubbs has never claimed to have a Scottish accent, so the world can rest easy now. We know that, so
God. Brilliant. I love it. So, yes. Where are we? So, Scott says... It did say Game Pass too. Yeah, I think this one is Game Pass, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that. But yeah, good stuff. That's awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for all of your takes. And like I say, give this bad boy a wish list on Steam if you're on Steam. And I think there is an Xbox wish listing as well, so feel free to do it on there as well. So yes, awesome stuff. Enjoying checking it out once again. And every time I see it, I just think, yes, it looks so good. But yeah, Unity, that's quite interesting because it's obviously 3D. Everyone always thinks of Unity as a 2D engine, don't they, sort of thing. So yeah, definitely cool. It shows what you can do with Unity. It's actually quite versatile, isn't it? That'll be your area, I suppose, Judzy Baby.
Yeah, and I've not developed games in Unity, but obviously HoloLens and augmented reality VR stuff, that's all. I mean, trying to place holograms in the real world in AR it's quite an interesting challenge, but working with Unity was pretty cool. So
nice.
Yeah, I think the latest Pux has probably seen the latest trailer they did as well, Unity release, and it looks pretty stunning, the latest stuff they're doing. Not sure it's on par with UE5, but it looks very impressive. So yeah, expecting good things from these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if Do you think they might update sort of Unity, or is it just constantly being updated? Like, or do they don't really do generations with Unity, do they, or do they? Am I mistaken?
I don't think they do like generate, not UE5, UE4.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that,
Yeah.
But they are constantly doing feature updates and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. No, good stuff. Good to have the takes of a developer like yourself, software developer, which is pretty cool, man. Very nice. But yeah, thank you everyone that's hanging out with us for this stream. We're going to keep it moving once again. Hope you enjoyed those 3 indie spotlights. Like I say, hit us up with your indie spotlights like Scott did. Definitely let us know what games you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a game which not many people know about, or maybe it's a game that everyone knows about. Always love to hear from you in the chat, guys. Let us know what you're looking forward to. But yes, we're going to keep this moving, and I'm actually going to do a cheeky thing and hand over the baton to my partner in crime, Judzilla, for this topic. We are going to be chatting a bit about the Bafta Game Awards, actually, that happened quite recently. And yes, Judsy baby, it's your spotlight moment. I'm gonna hand it off to you, my friend.
Okay. This is all you know, this is going to be awesome. So BAFTA, yeah. So if you know what BAFTA is, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't know what BAFTA is, send £20 to me by PayPal. It's like the British Oscars, but without the slapping. It's actually quite a prestigious academy in the UK, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Interestingly, this does get interesting. I'll bring it back to games. Don't worry.
That's good.
Interestingly, in 2003 was the first time they did the BAFTA Game Awards, which I was quite surprised at, because that's a long old time ago. I didn't know that the Game Awards were running at the BAFTAs for that long. So that's really cool. And that year, I don't think there was one indie game in the lineup. And the game that won Game of the Year, or the year's best game, was Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty. The next year, Half-Life 2 basically won everything apart from best racing game.
Right.
So that was was interesting.
Call of Duty, how dare they? Nearly put a stop to it before it started.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Project Gotham Racing 2, one of my favourites.
We're talking. We're back at that time. Okay, that's fair enough. If it won that, then if it won something now, I'd be outraged. Yeah.
It won best game in 2003.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's cool.
Yeah, so that it's quite interesting, because the reason I wanted to talk briefly about this, we won't go too much about it because, you know, it's an award show, but the indie representation at the BAFTA Game Awards was actually really impressive. I'm going to run through a few games. I'm just going to read out the categories and the winners, and then we can sort of evolve the discussion if you guys want to do so. So artistic achievement, The Artful Escape, absolutely interesting. It didn't win it in audio, which Returnal won.
Oh, Luke's going to have something to say about that, I bet.
Well, you know what we both feel about Artful Escape. It's just a beautiful game. If you've not played it, chat, go and get on it. It's absolutely awesome. The best debut game was Tome, if that's how you say it.
Tome, yeah. Yeah,
Tome, yeah.
That's a cool game. That deserves that deserves stuff, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a popular one.
Best family game, Chicory: A Colourful Tale. Now, I haven't seen this.
I haven't played that yet, but it's been getting a lot of good reports from people, that game.
Yeah, it looks really cool, actually. Very nice and chill, and I think Meisuko would like that one.
Definitely.
As well as the next one, there's a category called Game Beyond Entertainment, which was won by a game called Before Your Eyes by Goodbye World Games. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but it uses your webcam and it watches you as you blink. The scene changes. It's really difficult to describe. You'll have to go and look it up.
Awesome.
Sorry, was you saying something there?
That's interesting. What's the name of it? Sorry, that one.
Before Your Eyes.
Oh, okay, cool. So it reacts to your movement and your eye movement. You say
it reacts to your eye movement and you blink. Wow. Yeah,
amazing.
It's basically telling the story through. You're blinking, and as you're blinking, the story's changing, and it watches what your eyes are doing, and then the story changes. It looks very cool. I haven't played it myself, and again, another good thing about the BAFTA Game Awards is some of these things we haven't heard of. That I don't remember from some of the shows are actually winning awards, and game beyond entertainment is quite a cool category for it to win in. So
Definitely.
anyway, moving on. Game design, Inscription. That's a worthy winner, I think.
Definitely.
Narrative was Unpacking, which I've completed.
That's in-game person.
That's quite a relaxing game.
Yeah, that's
very nice. That was a humble game.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Definitely. Yeah. No, Artful Escape, so I'm just going to go back to that. Artful Escape, amazing. With regards to, if you don't mind me just cutting in on it, the music part on Artful Escape, I thought it was amazing, but I thought, thing with it is, it's like you playing, and then you're playing, obviously you're jamming over it, or you're not playing. I mean, the music was absolutely wonderful, but I mean, I guess, that's why I think there probably would have been others. I mean, just quickly, if you don't mind, ask Luke, what was the Returnal soundtrack like, my friend?
Incredible.
Yeah, it's worthy.
Yeah, very worthy. I think as well. It's an audio achievement award. So I think it's not just taking into account music.
Okay, it's not just the soundtrack for that game.
Yeah, it's not best music. It's audio achievement, and I think, I mean, if you're comparing the two, then in terms of audio achievement, I think Returnal is probably one of the best sounding games that's ever been released. Just overall, whether that's from music or sound design in of itself. All of that stuff. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
So that Artful Escape isn't wouldn't be a worthy winner of that award as well, because it would. But just in a different way, I think.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So it was some. Sorry to cut you off there, Judge. I was curious about hearing the Returnal take from our Returnal master.
No worries. It's all about the discussion. It's interesting hearing that, because I've not played Returnal. It's interesting to hear that. The thing I liked about the Artful Escape, not just the story and the journey that you take through the game, and obviously being a bit of a musician and a developer, the way they blended the music and the development, and the actual, it all blended into what you were doing in the game, if you see what I mean. And when, you say, when you hold the X and you start jamming, it's all seamless.
Yeah.
And that, from a programmatic standpoint, very, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good shout.
I might have to pick up Returnal if Luke recommends it and is approving of the combat. Then
I would. I mean, you've got PS5, haven't you? So
yeah.
I mean, I'm waiting for the PC desperately, and I'll get it straight away when it comes out on PC. It will do. I'm sure of it.
It definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last mention on this one, mate, before we wrap the topic, obviously, chat and everyone jump in. The Game of the Year, which is voted for by the public, it's called the EE Game of the Year. I think it's EE sponsored. Was again Unpacking. So that won narrative and the public Game of the Year, which I found
that's impressive, isn't it?
Very fascinating.
Yeah. So that was the public voted, was it?
The public voted Game of the Year. Yeah.
Interesting. That is good. That, isn't it? Did they have full control over that? Do you know how it works with BAFTA, or do you know what I mean?
The way the public voting works, I don't know, to be honest.
Is it 100% of the vote from the public?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Wow, that's interesting. That's quite surprising. Yeah. I mean, Unpacking 100%. That is quite, because it's quite a niche in a sort of relaxing way. I mean, it shows how big relaxing games have got, I guess. I mean, it's a wonderful game, but there's a lot of people who enjoy a good relax in a game. It's not all about blasting things away. So a lot of people like to just chill with their games. So I'm guessing, that genre's got pretty big in a way. So, definitely that's cool to see in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not all about going at it in motion capture suits, mate.
I knew it.
I mean?
Yeah.
You knew I was going to bring it back to that, didn't you?
Yeah. Love it. Just on the weekend. Dear. No, it's good shout. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to see these awards, though, isn't it? I mean, this one, is it voted by a panel? Do you know how it works on that regard with the rest of the awards?
I think the rest of the awards are panel-based voting, yeah. But interestingly, if you look at the games that, or the categories even, let me just do a quick count. There's 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18. So there's 18 categories, and indie games won 7 of the 18. Cool.
And that's great,
which is, it's very cool.
Definitely.
And especially having an indie game winning public vote game of the year. I thought was very impressive. An honourable mention for It Takes Two. I know they're not an indie studio; they're backed by EA Publishing.
Yeah.
But from where they've come from, I played this with my brother. My word, that won a couple of awards as well, multiplayer and original property.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great to see, definitely. They've definitely got a mentality of an indie studio, but they've obviously grown into something a bit different than that now. But yeah, it's still the creativity, and Joseph Fares is very much all about that creativity side of things. He's sort of a trailblazer in a sense, isn't he, with what they like to do on that studio.
Yeah, Ash nails it there. I played this with my brother. We honestly, the different environments we were going into, we were just constantly saying, who thought of this? It's just a group of people that took a massive concoction of hallucinogenics or something, because it's just the stuff that they do, the mechanics are so clever, and the environments, and it's huge, absolutely enormous.
Definite.
Flame loves unpacking as well, by the looks of it. He's very happy that
that's great.
he got the awards.
Yeah, Flame says Unpacking and deserved its awards. Really, really unique game. Fantastic. Great shout, buddy. And Juds, I'd like you to read that last comment, if that's okay, but from Pixel Slapper.
Unpacked was my drunk game made me feel bras lol.
That's brilliant.
Tucked in my socks. Yeah. I'm not going to touch that one. I'll leave that to you.
Leave that. Yes.
You BJ when you need him.
You do, my friend. That is all good.
Well, Dazzy Baby's the one for wearing bras. I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's what it means now, Pixel.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. That's great. Excellent stuff. Yeah, no, it's good to see. I mean, this year, I guess there's not the runaway sort of like Hades or anything like that in it, but this game actually that was on the screen. I forget what the name of it actually is. Death's Door was there. That's a shame Death's Door didn't win something, because it's very deserving. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't the runaway Hades, I guess, of the year for the awards wise. But yeah, no, there's been some amazing games, that's for sure. But yeah, good to see. How about yourself, Luke? Do you like these? Do you checked out BAFTAs before or anything? What do you think of the BAFTA awards?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's de facto become my favourite award show now, because Returnal won.
Wow,
Game of the Year,
yeah.
So they appreciate high quality masterpiece level games.
Absolutely.
But I usually follow the BAFTAs actually, because they are. It's really interesting actually to see the difference in the way that the jury votes in the BAFTAs as compared to other, Game Award shows. Juds is absolutely right. They have a very indie-centric kind of mentality, which is really great. And that's not because I think they're deliberately favouring indies, to give them a leg up. I think it's just a testament to they just view indies on the same level as big budget releases. And I mean, the year that Hades won, it won at the BAFTAs, and everywhere else gave it to The Last of Us Part 2, for example. So that kind of shows, I guess, the way that they kind of vote is it tends to be towards the games I think they're really, really deserving. Not that The Last of Us 2 isn't, because it's a definite Game of the Year type game. It's just that Hades was also a big Game of the Year type game, but it didn't get the same kind of love, probably because it's an indie game. So so I think it was great, and some worthy winners this year. Inscription winning game design is the biggest no-brainer I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Super unique, super cool game. And other than that, Returnal representing, not an indie game at all, but just an incredible game, which is easily one of my favorite games, probably of all time at this point. So
nice.
I'm really glad for that game.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's a cool looking game. I really want to play. Definitely, they've got a great history of games being awesome, and then they've gone, they've obviously no longer indie, but they are now still making awesome games in the same way they have. Obviously, they've turned into a bit of 3D than they used to, but and it's sort of a bit of a different look. But fundamentally still quite a lot similar.
I mean, fundamentally, Returnal's a bullet hell game. You know,
exactly.
Which is what they've always done. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a bullet hell with a big budget and an amazing story, amazing visuals, and it just great game design and. Yeah, I agree with Ash. Let's turn it into a Returnal podcast. It'll just be me talking for about 2 hours about how great Returnal is.
Love it. And tell me, when are we going to get this release date so I can join the train?
I don't know.
PC.
I'm really hoping it's announced soon. I mean, it's coming to, it's coming to the new rejuvenated PS Plus, I think in June.
Oh, okay, right. Yep.
So, Judd's, if you want to pick it up, you could probably wait, and then if you want to get a higher tier subscription, you'll be able to play Returnal, on that. So, or just buy it, because that would be great as well.
Yeah.
But
have you got a stake in this? Are you making money off it?
Yeah, I think so.
I wish I was because
it's good.
I'd be getting a great commission hopefully at this point.
That's true. They're doing pretty well, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think it showed up on that Nvidia leak, didn't it? Where for PC, where everything else on that leak has been accurate. So I'm sure it's got to be coming. It's such a game that's well suited for a PC audience as well. Kind
Definitely.
of bullet hell roguelike.
Exactly.
It just makes sense. So hopefully, as soon as possible, it will come to PC.
I think it's got to be. You think this year? Do you reckon? I think it's this year.
I think this year. Yeah, I think this year. Yeah, maybe towards the end, but I think this year.
That'll be nice. I'll be joining the train then, and then I'll realise I actually hate it, and you'll quit the podcast.
Yeah, it'll be an Outer Wilds scenario.
Oh God, yeah, love it. That's great. Oh dear, fantastic stuff. So yeah, that was great. Thank you very much for leading that topic, Judsy baby. Is there anything you wanted to add about the BAFTA Game Awards? I mean, what do you think of it as a whole, buddy? You think it's a good showing, in general? Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too much more to add, to be honest with you. But yeah, I do think it's a good show. I think it's gonna get more popular. I think more people are gonna find out about it. As I say, surprised it's been running for so long, since 2003. But absolutely, I think more of these things to recognise the smaller creators is worth doing it for sure.
I should also just jump in because we talked. Links in with the Outer Wilds, but also the BAFTAs. That actually won Game of the Year at the BAFTAs in 2020 as well. So
they like you, don't they? They must have something going on.
I mean, it's just me. It's just me voting on these.
You are Mr. BAFTA.
Yeah. So,
you're the chairman.
last 3 years, 2 out of 3 have been indie games that have won Game of the Year.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's really great to see. It's really great.
It really is. Yeah, they're obviously focusing on what the creativity is and stuff like that, rather than the name or where it comes from, like that big AAA thing. They don't mind. They just, like you say, look indiscriminately, and they I think they seek out the creativity, because they seem kind of like they're more about the artistry of it, if you know what I mean. It's I think they definitely have that kind of feel to the BAFTAs. It's nice to see.
They have that kind of Cannes Film Festival sort of feeling to them. That's the kind of stuff they get. The very art housey type stuff, which tends to be the indie games. So.
Yes, exactly. No, that's well said. Good stuff. Yes, thank you very much, guys. That is awesome. So we're almost at the end. I mean, we could finish up on one final topic. We did a bit of a makeshift one because I haven't really prepped a lot for it, but maybe we could just have a look through any sort of kind of final games that are coming soon over the next couple of times. I mean, we've got obviously what do we have? We have on the 5th of May coming up, we have Trek to Yomi, of course, and but yeah, like maybe we could just tuck into anything else we're looking forward to maybe over the next month or so. As we wind it up, basically, we're going to sort of finish it up quite soon. But yeah, anyone in the chat, if you've got any games you're looking forward to be checking out. Also, just finish on the back of the BAFTAs, was there anything that you enjoyed about the BAFTAs too? Definitely let us know. It's also quite nice just looking at this screen right now to see an in-person event as well coming back. Obviously, we're a little bit past that now, I suppose, coming back in, but I still feel it's like on that verge. So it's nice to see it's actually happening in person. And the same with the Game Awards. Awards, the Jeff Keighley one. That's going to be an in-person event this year as well, of course. But yeah, things like at the moment we've also got something else going on called WASD, or WASD, which is basically the it's like an indie sort of games con, I guess you could call it, convention, which is basically happening in the UK at the moment. It's basically, there's Devolver there, there's Thunderful there, all showcasing their games. It's an in-person event, which is super cool, and just good to see it back. It's taken the sort of spot of EGX Rezzed, and it's on at the moment in London. I'm definitely got that fear of missing out feeling every day when I see pictures popping up, but I'm hoping to be going to EGX later this year, and hoping these two folks on this show are hoping to go this year still, if that's still on their plans. But yeah, I'm going to try and get them too, and we'll meet up and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm wondering if we can make that happen. It would be absolutely awesome. But one other thing I've just remembered I need to do is drop a few keys into the chat for Zemi Games, who has, like I said earlier, created a game called what is it called? Back to School. And what I'm going to do quickly is grab a couple of keys. But I'm going to pass it over to one of you guys just to let me know. Maybe Juds, I'm going to pass it to you if that's all right, buddy. If there's anything that you're looking forward to over the next sort of like, however many months or weeks, whatever, is there any games you're kind of looking forward to just while I organise these keys for dropping into the chat, my friend?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Edith Finch 2 for Stubbs.
I love it.
I think
the rebirth.
Edith, I love it. Edith Sparrow 3, it's called.
Edith Sparrow. That's great.
Obviously, we've mentioned Somerville. This is going to be an excellent game. I'm really looking forward to that. Again, like I said, coming to Game Pass, so you can try it if you don't like it. But from what I've seen, I think I'm going to really enjoy this game. Planet of Lana is obviously a big one that's very anticipated by a lot of people. Don't think we have a release date yet. I can't remember.
No, Planet of Lana's not got a release date. No, still, I don't know how far off, really. I don't even know if they've got a year in them. Have they got a year?
It's 22, but it's to be confirmed the last I saw.
That would be nice if we get that this year. So nice.
Yeah, it would be very cool. And then I think the third one for me would be Stray on PlayStation.
That's really good that you mentioned that, actually, because obviously all of us are interested in that game. I know you guys have both got cats, and I noticed Luke's picture as well has got a cat in it, and that is his cat. I just realised, as I mentioned to him earlier. So I had to quickly mention that. I love your pic, Luke. But also the other reason it's good that you mentioned it is because I saw someone say there was some sort of like leak or something, which so it was basically Stray has received its classification. Have you seen that? Yeah. So
the last couple of days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully we're getting close.
Yes, man. So that could be like within a couple of months of release. Do you think that's about right? Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. Been waiting on it a long time. They did say, didn't they say? Didn't they say last year it was spring they were looking to do? So we're right around that now. So hopefully, hopefully May maybe slips into June. Just as soon as possible.
Definitely, that sounds good. Yeah, it would be awesome. I think it's going to be a really cool game. And like the thing is with indie games in general, is that they usually get their release date basically like a month before its release and stuff like that, as you well know. Some people kind of like don't expect that kind of thing if they've kept an eye on indies for a while and stuff, and they're like, why is there no releases for the next few months or something? It's probably because you'll find there actually will be a lot of releases, but they just haven't been announced until like basically a month before or something. So always it's always going to be good, guys. Just keeping your eye out and following games and stuff. You'll see the announcement on Twitter, whatever it is. And there's going to be some great games coming out, and probably a lot of them haven't been announced to be releasing yet. So it's just amazing. There's the time is the problem, having enough time to play all these games. But yeah, we're going to be inundated with games throughout this whole year. I'm pretty damn sure of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, Juds. What else have you got on your agenda, my friend?
I'll go for one more before we hand over to Luke, and that is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, sweet. That's a great pick.
On PC and Switch, yeah. It's just everyone that sees it's like Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
Jet Set
definitely.
Radio vibes. And it looks fantastic, so I'll be getting that on the PC. Again, no release date, but it is coming out this year, last we heard. So they're my picks for some of the. I mean, we could spend the rest of the night talking about picks. There's so many games coming out. There's a few that if people haven't heard of them, go check them out. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Go Google that if you've not heard of that game. It looks awesome.
If you've been wanting, like a Jet Set Radio sequel or whatever, or like a new Jet Set Radio, that is basically the answer to all of your prayers, basically, because it looks so damn good. It is so the same as well. But yeah, maybe Luke might take issue with that. But I know Luke draws his lines like quite firmly sometimes. How do you feel? Have you seen Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, Luke? Or
yeah, it looks great. It looks great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, he's let it go.
Wow.
He's let
Positivity.
that one through.
I actually really love Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Anything that's inspired by it, I think this actually looks really cool. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, it looks cool. But how do you feel about the fact that it's quite similar to the original and they've taken a lot of inspiration? Is that okay for you? Or?
I think that's fine in this case because how many Jet Set Radio type games have we had?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not something people are like, oh, let's, the big hot thing is a Jet Set Radio game.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's not Hollow Knight. Where many developers are bringing out games that are very similar. So, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Good stuff. He has an answer for everything, this one. It's always a good.
It may not be right, but I've got an answer. So.
No, it's good. It's good, great reasoning. Brilliant. Yeah, so that's a great pick, though, Judsy. Have you got any that you're especially looking forward to, Luke? I know Stray is big time on your list, but any others?
Yeah, I mean, I think Judd's has covered the vast majority of them, actually. Stray's obviously a huge one. Somerville, big one. That's probably right at the top of the list in terms of most anticipated indie game by
Somerville,
a fair chunk. That Little Devil Inside,
nice.
as well.
Yeah,
which looks really cool. Want to see some more of Season, which obviously isn't. I think it's still scheduled for release this year. Who knows when, and who knows if it may not get delayed. But
it'd be great to see that again.
It looks super cool. So
definitely.
kind of just nothing other than that to add from Judd's. I think he pretty much nailed it.
Definitely. That's good shout. I mean, I'm definitely, are any of you guys fans of like Alien Hominid? Back in the day, Alien Hominid HD on 360 by the Behemoth.
Not hugely. It was okay. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, just was what I mentioned. That's actually, there's a sequel coming. Alien Hominid Invasion is coming out.
Okay.
I've actually did a 30-minute video on that a while ago, actually. Just sort of 30 minutes of gameplay of it. So it was a little trial of the game. And yeah, really fun, actually. Super smooth, and the cutscenes are really fun. But yeah, if you want to check that out, guys, on the channel, it's there. If you want to see what Alien Hominid Invasion is looking like, it's actually really fun. It's got like roguelike sort of vibe to it, where you sort of do runs and then pull, stuff and come back in and, collect resources that way. But yeah, I think it's really cool, actually. Obviously, they're a really good developer, the Behemoth. Castle Crashers developer. But yes, definitely looking cool. That's one of the games that doesn't seem to be getting mentioned that much, but they have a great following, and they're a big indie studio, if that makes sense. They're very popular. But yeah, I think that would be a great game. But also definitely looking forward to a bit of, whether this is indie or not technically, I think it's still indie, but it's just got the license. But it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Have you heard any more on that at all? I've not really heard a lot from that recently. Do you know if there's online co-op? I'm still trying to work that out.
I mean, surely there will be, right?
Surely you'd hope so. Yeah,
Surely,
I mean, I think they haven't committed to an answer on that. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is so many, as always, dropping in, and keep your eye out on Twitter, follow these beautiful indie devs, and you'll stay up to date with them basically. But yeah, like I said, I dropped a key in the chat, guys, for Back to School by Zemi Games. If you that's an Xbox key, definitely just drop that, copy and paste it into your Xbox, on Xbox.com or wherever, on Xbox on the Xbox itself. You can do that and just drop it in there, and that will be a key to Back to School for you. It's a cool little trivia game. It's quite a simplistic game, but definitely a fun little trivia game, as I say. Definitely worth playing. It's a good one to challenge you, and this Zemi Games is first game as an indie dev, which is pretty damn cool, and he's a good community member, so definitely good to support him on his new venture into indie games, which is fantastic. But yeah, definitely take advantage of that key, guys. Drop it into your xbox.com and your on your basically drop it in and use it, basically copy and paste that bad boy and use the game, essentially. What am I saying? But yeah, feel free to grab it, guys. I'll drop another one in just a second at the end in case anyone's grabbed that one already. But yeah, feel free to check out the game otherwise if you don't get hold of it. It's well worth a good look, and it's not a massive price either, as Stubbsy Baby just mentioned in the chat. But yes, I think we should wind things up there, guys. Miraculously pretty much on time for once. Judd's will be pleased with me for that.
I'm very impressed.
I love it. Yep, no, quite happy with that. Shout out to Rescue Squad Culp who's come in at the end there. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined us today. It's been a blast chatting some indie games with you all. It's been a, maybe not loads of topics, but we've done quite a few, but not sort of beefy topics maybe lately, but we've tackled them. So a lot of games today, and hopefully brought some to your attention to check out. Lots to look forward to. I've been doing more videos recently. I've shot another one which I need to edit and actually put together. But yeah, I'm doing a bit more video content. I've got something in the pipeline as well on a new thing I've wanted to do for a while, which is kind of like a dual perspective review thing, which I'm hoping to do with we've got something in the pipeline with Judzilla and maybe Luke as well one time. But what we're going to do is like a double person review on something and check out some games that way. But yes, I hope that would be something you'd be interested in. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into something with Juds. I won't spoil what it is at the moment, but yes, there'll be some of that good stuff coming. I hope you enjoy the video content as well as the live streams, but always love to hear your feedback, guys, so definitely let us know. You guys are you're what it's all about, and the sharing it with you, so definitely tell me what you like to see on the channel. Do you like these videos and all that sort of stuff? Do you like reviews? Do you like podcasts? Do you like upcoming indie spotlights? Do you like a bit of everything, that kind of thing? Just let me know. I'd love to hear it, and it will definitely be taken on board. A great place to do that is actually in the Discord, which you can definitely feel free to join if you haven't already. I'm coming up a bit short right now because I've had a little bit of an issue back on the back end for dropping the Discord link, which I'll get to you in just a minute. But I'm just going to say firstly, thank you so much to my good man Judzilla for joining me today. Always a pleasure to hang out with you and chat some indie games, brother. You've been on fire as always. Great to see you back in the seat and feeling better. But it's been a pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for joining me. Where can they find you, sir?
Thank you very much. Yep, it's been awesome to get back. Yeah, talk to you guys. Feeling so much better. Awesome chat again. Some real superstars that we get every time we do this. So thank you so much for the chat, being engaged and loving this. So yeah, find me on Twitter at Judzilla UK. I've got my latest song is going to come out exactly after this show. So it's another cover song, pretty topical. So check that out. And thank you very much again for having me, Indy, and love the chat. Brilliant.
Pleasure, buddy. You definitely, couldn't do it without you and Luke. It's the trio, the Three Musketeers, whatever you want to call us. It's great fun doing it with you both. Thank you very much for being part of it, buddy. And as I say, Luke Steele, another legend. Always a pleasure to hang out with you, my friend. Always keeping it real with those takes, even if they are sometimes on the negative side, which is, like I say, part of keeping it real and honest, and we like that about you, my friend. We know you have a ton of passion for games, and you always bring very interesting takes and well thought out takes too. But overall, basically, it's a great pleasure to just hang out with a good friend like yourself, my friend. So thank you very much for being part of it. And where can they find you, buddy?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always. Always a lot of fun. You find me at Steele90 on Twitter, and Green Pass Gaming, which is on some Thursdays and some Sundays on YouTube. So we're on tomorrow actually. So yeah, come and check us out in the morning, 9 a.m. UK time.
Nice, that's
or 10
awesome.
a.m., one of the two.
Good stuff. No, what did I say? 9. Be ready from 9, and then you know you're there.
Yeah, then you're there. Yeah,
Just be waiting. That's awesome. No, fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much, Luke, for being part of this. You're awesome, buddy. It's a pleasure to do this with you. And thank you so much to all of the guys in the chat. There's still 14 of you guys hanging out even at this late point. So thank you so much for that, guys. It means the world. Shout out to Stubbs Gaming, Pixel Slapper. Who else have we had in? Back from the Dead, Flame in the House. And who else did we have in? We had Ash for a long time today. Great having you in the chat, buddy. Dragon Wolf in the house too. Who else have we had? Smokeback Official, great to see you, buddy. Puxley came by, great to see you too, my friend. And who else did we have? Ori was in. Trinity was in, which was great to see. Thank you very much for coming by, Trinity. And yes, everybody else who came by. Actually, I'm just going to definitely mention Scott, because it's always a pleasure to see you, buddy. Thank you very much if you're not here anymore, but thank you for coming by. Blue Moon was in the house. And everybody else who came by, you're all legends. It means the world. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be back again soon with some more indie content. Probably the next thing will be, like I say, this podcast isn't a weekly podcast, so best thing to do is follow on Twitter. Mine's indie_gamer_01. Definitely follow the other guys as well. They're all at the bottom of the screen, and as they just mentioned where they are. Definitely sub to the channels as mentioned before, and all of these links are in the description below, so check those out too. But yeah, give us a follow on Twitter, and then you'll know when we're going to be going live with the next Indie Games podcast. It's usually about once a month, and we'll post about that to keep you in the know. But feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest Indie Games goodness on the channel. But otherwise, like I say, next thing we'll be posting is probably another video, and yeah, we'll be back with that again real soon. But thank you once again, guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. It's been a pleasure bringing the indie goodness into your life. Thank you very much, guys. Catch you later.